Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Katendra se porte le terre, il se porte la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. And if you want to find me later on, I'll be in a tent over there reading kids' books and singing songs. If you have kids who want to read some books and sing some songs with me, I'll be over there.
Hello, Niagara Falls. Hello, Ontario.
There we go. Better?
Yes, that's better. Hello, Canada. Canada. We stand on guard. I love our anthem. Gives me goosebumps every time. Where are all the kids? Make some noise. Where are all the parents? Parents, how many of you know the song, School's Out for Summer, by Alice Cooper? We can't sing that song this year, because school has to be in to be out. I'm excited, however, to put this unprecedented year to rest. How about you? My name is Nancy O'Brien. I'm a parent of 3 grown kids. I'm an educator with a background in science and health. I've been looking for the science for all of these measures, and I do not see scientific evidence presented. How many of you have also been researching a lot? Everything we've been told has been based on models, exaggerated numbers, and fear tactics. And it's contrary to what I'm finding in my research. I was trying to raise awareness last year about what I felt was very concerning on social media, but realized this alone was not enough. I had to do something else. I had to mobilize for our freedoms and for our kids. I used to love seeing the kindergarten kids walking in my neighborhood, but this year was different. I couldn't see many of their faces. We were covering their beautiful faces. We were robbing them of oxygen, preventing them from socializing with one another, and seeing the faces of the caring adults who were in charge of them. And just like last year, this is one more year I'm seeing solo high school graduation pictures. Because in Ontario, there are no graduations and proms that many of us had as a rite of passage. Our kids are being denied all of this for something that statistically does not affect them. While in the same week, 3,500 people are allowed to attend a hockey game in our neighboring province. You know the only variant I see? These policies and the people making them. Without a risk-benefit analysis, our kids are all part of the biggest social experiment right now. That is not okay. I'm happy to say that I am not alone. There are many of us across Ontario who are not happy with the current state of affairs in schools. We are a group of educators from the public and Catholic boards, as well as private, who have come together to form Educators for Human Rights. And to my left here, she's going to speak in a minute, but that's the founder of Educators for Human Rights, Josie. I'd like to read our mission statement so you know what we stand for. As current and retired educators, our mission is to uphold our duty of care and protect the inherent human rights of students, families, and educators. Defend the right of every child to quality, in-person public education, free from all forms of discrimination. Put children first. Lockdowns, school closures, mask mandates, physical distancing, chemical sanitizers, and messages of fear hurt children. Let children, thank you. Let children be children in a safe and inclusive environment that balances their physical and mental health. Respect each individual's bodily integrity and freedom of choice when it comes to health and medical intervention. We are educators for human rights. Protecting human rights is our responsibility. Now, I would like to bring up Josie to tell you about an initiative that Educators for Human Rights is involved in.
Thank you, Nancy. You're very well spoken, as usual. So I'm just going to start off with a few ABCs. Not the whole alphabet, don't worry. A is for advocacy. We believe that schools should remain open for in-person education with no restrictions. B is for balance. Society's needs must weigh all factors. And our exciting announcement, if you haven't heard yet, is C is for court challenge against the government of Ontario. On May 6th, renowned constitutional lawyer Rocco Galati publicly announced the upcoming legal action defending the rights of children and challenging the constitutionality for the draconian measures in schools. As Educators for Human Rights, we are honored to be joint applicants in the case, along with a number of families and Children's Health Defence Canada. Although it's coming back to you a little bit, right? Okay, sorry. No, just the microphone, yeah.
Oh, just step back a bit. Like
Okay.
step back right here, and then you might get less feedback.
Oh,
Oopsie. Oh, so we can move up again?
Holy, what happened?
Uh-oh, teacher voice!
Oh boy,
No. Help!
he's coming back. He's coming back. I don't know when.
It's okay.
How did that happen?
Hello?
It's the 7th inning stretch.
Oh, come on. How does this go back? Okay. No, they're not going to hear me.
They're not going to hear. Oh, here he comes to our rescue. All we did was...
Somebody's sticking the extension cord up there.
Okay. Oh, somebody over there. Oh, shoot.
So
Try now.
maybe it's it's the government spies.
Yeah. Right?
They're trying to sabotage us.
No, I can't yell.
They kicked Derek Sloan off. They're going to kick us off.
Picture with Randy.
Yes.
Try it now.
Hello? Nope.
No.
Nice to see you out in beautiful Queensland.
Here we go.
There you go. Yeah, Here, and then you'll get less feedback. There you go.
Okay, I'm almost done anyway. So although the court process will take time, the results will apply for across the province. Finally, the notice of application can be viewed on the constitutionalrightscenter.ca website, where donations in support of the legal fund can be made where school action is indicated. To close with a quote by Margaret Mead, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." Thank you.
Thank you, Josie. Just to wrap up here, if you're a parent or educator who would like to support us and take a stand for our kids in education, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We can also be reached at educatorsforhumanrights@protonmail.com. Have a great day, everyone, and come find us and you'll recognize us in our swag.
Thank you for your patience. I mean, we are not really professionals, so. But right now we have Pastor Henry with his congregation, and my personal question to Pastor Henry is that after your powerful speech, please sing to us, because your congregation sings so beautifully. So if you could sing to us, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Pastor Henry. Along with many other pastors throughout Canada right now, are greatly persecuted for opening their churches and for right to worship.
Good afternoon, Niagara. There's a song that we sing, it says, "I'm still here." Somebody asked me, I thought you were supposed to be arrested. I said, I thought the same, but it still hasn't happened, and I thank God for that. It is extremely sad that in Canada we are where we are, but I've got good news for you. We have someone that is on his throne. His name is God. Our King is Jesus. You will never win. You will never win fighting God. Get on the right side of history. Get on the right side of prophecy. Get on the right side. Stand with God. You can't go wrong standing with God. I feel no hatred against anyone whatsoever, but I am extremely determined. I feel in me working a lion's nature. As Pastor Art says, we are lions. We have a fellow pastor, Tim Stevens, in prison in Calgary right now as I speak. That is wrong. I don't care who says what. It's wrong in Canada to jail the pastors. It's wrong. And they need to bring him out. Let me tell every police force nationwide, get to work and take care of things. Leave the pastors alone. But if the police force gets too involved with the pastors, watch out, we might get you saved. Because when you you deal with a pastor, you don't deal with just a regular human being, not in ourselves, you know what I'm saying. But we are conduits of God. We are representatives. We are ambassadors of God. And in case you disagree that a pastor is that, then they should shut down their church. Then they should pack up and do nothing. But if we are called of God, let's stand up to the tyranny. There is an arrest warrant out for another young fellow pastor in Manitoba. A church building is fenced off in Edmonton, Alberta. I wish I was in Edmonton this coming week. I would enjoy taking that fence down. Apparently on July 1st it's coming down. Let's cheer for that. Should have never come up in the first place. A church building is locked in Waterloo, Ontario. Our very own church building that we worked hard for, right from a cornfield, is presently locked up, I'll just say it, by the devil. I just counted my tickets last night, so to give you an up-to-date count, I have 32 tickets that were delivered to my address. We have, on May 14th, we received a fine, which needs to be paid now, $117,000. On May 31st, we were fined $66,000. On June 18th, we were fined $90,500. The total now coming up to $273,500. Just brace yourself. I'll say something. I'm known for saying controversial things. I may as well not let you down this morning. As far as $273,500, I'll say, since Ottawa is in the business of printing money, print some extra for me. And I won't even be the middleman. You can deliver it directly to, who is that? Supposed to be delivered to someone. You can take it directly there while I will be preaching, and while I will be helping to save people and baptizing people and be a real man of God. Churches continue to be targeted by our governments without any evidence that they are a source of significant outbreaks. We haven't had one death, thank God, and every death is tragic. But I'm saying it's not about COVID, folks. It's not about COVID. It is about control, and that's why they hate the churches. Stay here. Randy is my boss. He tells me what to do.
There's some weak spots in there, and I don't want you going through.
No, he's saying there's a couple of weak spots.
All right, I'm not very heavy. Okay. So, our situation is so dire, is that the way to say it? Our situation is so serious that even a U.S. Senator just 2 days ago, and I won't bore you with it, I don't want to read the whole letter, but Senator Josh Hawley says, listen, Senator, if you hear this, thank you for having an ear for us. Thank you for listening to what's happening to your northern neighbor. We are in trouble. We are in trouble. Mr. Premier from Alberta, you can no longer invite people worldwide, telling them, come to Canada if you face persecution. Now we need to invite the Cubans and the Russians and the Polish. We need to invite all of them and ask if they could come and change our locks at the church houses. Shame on us. Shame on Canada. What we have done in this beautiful country. But I've got news for you. We aren't giving up. We're claiming it back. What you see here today, this is normal. This is normal. And in case you would like to attend a church service that's very enjoyable, 10:30 tomorrow morning in Elmer, Ontario. We have extra excitements there. We usually have a drone flying overhead by the police. We have all kinds of excitement. We have people parked beside the road. We have people holding a sign up there saying, Pastor Henry is there for the prophet. He's not a prophet. So some nice things going on there. We have been determined, whether it was drive-in service or whether it was outside, whatever it is, they cannot shut God down. Let me just real quick read to you something that Josh Hawley wrote. He said Canadian authorities' arrest of faith leaders and seizures of church property, among other enforcement actions, appear to constitute systematic, ongoing, and egregious violations of religious freedom. I urge the Commission on International Religious Freedom to take whatever action is necessary to address and rectify this situation, and consider adding Canada to the Commission's watch list. That's where we are this morning. And in closing, before I pray, I would just like to read you one short verse out of the Bible. That's my testimony. Psalm 118 verse 6 says, "The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do unto me?" Pastor, you don't realize what could happen to you. I guess by now I realize everything, because you've been doing it in front of my eyes. What is it? Jail, fine, ticket, summons. What do you want? And I might end up in jail. If you hear I do, please don't expect me to sign that I'll get out of there, because I'll be preaching in there and getting people saved. So, a word to the pastors, all the pastors in this land. Could we wake you up? What would it take for you to wake up? If we had from the get-go stood as pastors should stand, this would have never happened. Would have never happened. Because we have a king that's above all kings. We have a Lord that's above all lords. And that's what they are scared of. Keep being scared, rulers. Keep being scared, while we will live in no fear, and we will be, like the Honorable Diefenbaker said, we will be real Canadians, free to worship God as we see we should be. God bless you. What? A pastor forgets to pray. You need to really nail me for this one. Lord, we thank you this morning, this afternoon. We thank you, Lord, that we have you to come to. Lord, you see us here as the human family gathered. And Father, you know what our soul's desire is, that you would help us. Lord, that the enemy would remove this tyranny. Lord, that we would enjoy our God-given freedom. Lord, we will worship you. We will praise you. We will lift up your name regardless of the consequences. Lord, it's a small price for us to pay when we look back what happened in history, oh God. Help us not to shy back. Bless every single one that's here today. Bless those that are sick. And now, Lord, those graves that they have found of those little children, help, oh God, that we would not repeat the very same thing now and torture our little ones. Lord, help us, oh God, to stand up. Help us to stand like Daniel, like the 3 Hebrews, like the apostles did. Lord, help us, oh God, to obey you rather than man, by the grace of God. Father, we pray in Jesus' name, amen.
So the wall is mural is developing amazingly. You should check what the kids are doing in there. It's amazing. So I really ask those of you who wish to take some video of that mural as well, or photos, please do, and then identify yourself again, because we would like to have this evidence. My storage on my phone is done, so I cannot do it no more. Pastor Henry is now gathering his congregation, and we would like them to perform for you. In exactly 1:30, Maxime Bernier will be talking to you as well. Maxime Bernier, along with Jim Torma and the delegation to the border, will go to the border, and at the border they will demand that the borders will be open. Amongst delegation there are people, families who were separated because of lockdowns and because of the closed borders. So I know specifically one person who will be seeing her fiancé for the very first time today, if possible. So that's what's going to happen next in our plan. But meanwhile, Pastor Henry, is your congregation ready? Okay, guys, hold on to it, okay? After Max Bernier's speech, I would like to have another speaker, and that will be my husband, who would like to share a word as well. So hold on, guys. I will just check out what's going on. Okay, thank you.
You're going to be voting PPC. So I'd like to introduce our fearless leader, our Mad Max, our road warrior that's been going from one end of the country to the next to fight the lockdowns. Thank you, everybody!
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. You know, I like our country. I like the people in Manitoba, but I don't like authoritarian government. We need to fight, and we will fight. We are here today because we know, and I know, that our rights and freedoms are in danger. We need to fight for what we believe, and you can count on me. I'll do that fight with you. Because freedom is the foundation of our civilization. Without freedom, there's no human dignity, prosperity, liberty, all that we need right now to fight for what we believe, because we cannot take for granted our freedom anymore. That's right. And only we are doing that fight only with our words. Only my words, only our words will win. We need to stand up. We need to speak out for what we believe openly, with passion and conviction. I'm not alone in that fight, and I know that you are there. I need you, I need your support, and you can count on me. I will never, never do any compromise with our principles. It's all between freedom and authoritarian governments. I choose freedom. That's why I'm very pleased to be with Randy and with my friends in the End the Lockdown National Caucus. Randy started that movement, and I received a call, and he said, Maxime, I'm looking at your platform. You must be against these draconian lockdowns. And I said, yes. And he said, come with us. We'll do that fight together. And I said, yes, I'll be there. And because, you know, Randy started that movement, and I started to speak against lockdowns maybe 12 months ago, 13 months ago, and I said every business is essential. And I said we must reopen our churches, and our kids must be able to go to school without any mask, in person. I don't recognize our country. I don't. That's not my Canada. But I can tell you, we are proud Canadians. And I know that some politicians told us that we must not celebrate the Canada Day the 1st of July. But we will celebrate Canada Day because we are proud Canadians, we are patriots, and I'll be in Ottawa the 1st of July to celebrate our nation. You know, no more political correctness, no more cancel culture, and no more Bill C-10 and C-36. You know, and no more lockdowns, yeah. Trudeau told us that hate speech is a huge problem in our country. We're bad people in Canada. But you know what? If you look at the data, if you look at the statistics, hate crimes represent less than 1% of all the crimes in this country. That's not the problem. The problem is the Trudeau government that use hate speech to censor us, to censor everybody on social media. But that won't happen. It's all about freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of peaceful assembly, and like I said, when I was arrested, it was political repression. The Premier of Manitoba didn't want anybody telling the truth. Didn't want me in Manitoba. But I told him I have a constitutional right to travel across this country, and I will always travel to speak about what I believe. Because, like Jefferson once said, When people fear their government, there is tyranny. When the government fears the people, there is liberty. And we will have an opportunity, if there is a general election this fall, we will be there. And we will tell to these establishment politicians that we have a choice. We have a choice between all these people that believe in lockdowns, all these traditional politicians, the Liberals, the Conservatives, the NDP, the Green, the Bloc Québécois. That's your choice. You have a choice between all them and us at the People's Party that will always fight for our freedom. You can count on me, and I want to count on you. Because when tyranny becomes law, revolution becomes our duty. It is our duty, and we are in an ideological revolution right now. We may be not a majority at this time, but there is out there a silent majority that is looking at us. We need to give them the courage to speak for what they believe. And I want to thank you to be there, because they're looking at us as an example. To do a revolution, we don't need 100% of the population on our side. Only 10-15%, and our fellow citizens will follow us. That's why I believe that there's a great future. But in the meantime, socialist ideas are everywhere. We know that when we are fighting for freedom, it may not be that popular today. But it's not because an idea is not popular that an idea is not just and true. We know that freedom ideas are just and true, and they will become popular because we are fighting for that openly with passion and conviction. Only our words. That's the battle that we are doing now. And I want to end by quoting John F. Kennedy in 1961. Kennedy said in 1961, during his inaugural speech in front of his citizens, that in the long history of the world, only few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its maximum hour of danger. You are that generation. This is your role, and now is the time. We will always fight for our way of life, our Western civilization values, our freedom against these authoritarian governments that are taking it away from us. That's only the beginning of our fight. And I know we will win that fight. And it's so important because right now in Manitoba, the premier over there wants to impose, and is working on that pretty seriously, a COVID-19 vaccine passport. We are saying no to that because we know if they implement a vaccine passport in our country, that will be like a communist country. We'll have two kinds of citizens, the vaccinated ones and the unvaccinated ones. Some will have more privileges and others won't. We don't want that because we are looking at Canadians on the basis that every Canadian is equal before the law. And we don't want a kind of a society like a communist society. Every place that you want to go, somebody is asking you, show me your papers. No, we won't show any papers because we won't have any papers. We don't need any papers. We just need to be free. The big difference with us all together, with us and all the other political parties in Ottawa and in some provinces, we don't believe in big fat government that will tell you what to do in your day-to-day life. We believe in people. We have faith that you have the ability, the dignity and the right to make your own decisions and determine your own destiny. And my goal and my commitment to you today is I will always be on your side. That's the most important thing. I don't think that bureaucrats in Ottawa or some politicians in Ottawa know better than us, know better than you. We had a nice example with COVID-19. All that propaganda, that was not the solution to fight a virus. It was the first time in the history of the world that these governments were using lockdowns to stop a virus. We knew and we know now that that virus, the only way to fight COVID-19 was to protect older people, the most vulnerable, but didn't do that. 80% of the deaths in our country are with people more than 70 years old. They didn't do their job. They didn't do their job. They just tried to shut down our economy, and the cost is huge for everybody. Businesses went bankrupt, and all the taxes, all the new Trudeau inflation tax to pay for $350 billion deficit. It's not our children and grandchildren that will pay for that huge and irresponsible deficit. It is us right now by the new Trudeau inflation tax, and you know that when you do your grocery, there's about 4 or 5% inflation there. Inflation is a hidden tax. Instead of having the courage to take your own money in your pocket and taxing you, Trudeau said, no, I will let you your own money, but you won't be able to buy the same amount of goods and services with your money. Your purchasing power will go down, and that's inflation. You may have the same amount of money in your pockets, but you are poor, and that's the beginning of the Trudeau inflation tax. We are saying no to that. We believe in a real balanced budget like a family. So it's all about them against us. It's all about government control. We are for freedom, and it's not about science anymore. It's about compliance. Let's do that fight together, and I'm very pleased that I can count on you. Thank you very much.
For those of you that want to join us, we are going to the Rainbow Bridge, and we're going to do a breach of the bridge. We're going to reunite families on that bridge from the American side and the Canadian side. That's what we're going to be attempting to do today. So a small group. And this is after this event, okay? Not now, but after this event, we're going to be going to the Rainbow Bridge. So join us if you want to.
Hi guys, we have almost the completion of the mural. Beautiful, expression of how lockdown affected children. So you can have a look. There are faces covered with masks on children's paintings. Very powerful. There are signs, no trespassing for playgrounds. So this is really powerful. So now we have congregation of Pastor Henry singing to us. Please remain. And after that we have Randy Hillier and my husband afterwards to say the final words to you. Afterwards, please stay, talk to us if you wish, or do whatever you feel doing, but remain with us till the very end, okay? So, Pastor Henry, is your congregation ready? Congregation. So give them bravo, because they are amazing people and they suffer a lot.
There is not a mother, sister, friend, or brother lost the way that Jesus came. He proved his love for me when he died on Calvary. He gave his life for fallen man. His love is a boundless love, and it reaches down and touches me. Through eternity, Jesus wants to love you. There's no one above you. You are precious in His sight. He will never fail you. When clouds assail you, He'll be with you day and night. His love is a boundless love, and it reaches down and touches me. Through all eternity, Jesus wants to love you. There's no one above you. You are precious in His sight. He will never fail you. When clouds assail you, He'll be with you day and night. His love is a boundless love, and it reaches down and touches me.
Jonathan, are you here? My husband. I'm looking for my husband. Jonathan?
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much, congregation of Pastor Henry, from Church of God to sing to us today as well. So right now we have our very beloved Randy Hillier. It's Randy's 40th anniversary, wedding anniversary today. So So it's not only him here, but his beloved wife who sacrificed today for Randy to be here. He's a man behind No More Lockdowns, End of Lockdowns Caucus, and also he's a big part of Liberty Coalition Canada. He's our hero.
Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, Bianca and Jonathan, for the wonderful work you're doing in Niagara. And for all the wonderful people here today and all the wonderful people working for freedom with no more lockdowns.ca. Bianca did mention a little thing. We do have a convoy and a march on the bridge after today's event. I was asked if I would be there as well, and I said to Bianca last night that I shared a little secret. You know, there are the seen and the unseen, and many people see me up here on stage and see me across the province. But there is the unseen strength, and that is my wife Jane. And she's not here today with me, but I promised her that with 40 years ago, on a Saturday, on a hot, sunny Saturday afternoon, we exchanged our vows in front of friends and family and God. And we made that commitment, and we still, and I want to keep that commitment, and I told her I'd be home tonight. So, and Lord help me if I'm not. Listen, I do want to say we do have lots of lawn signs. We have t-shirts. There's donations for No More Lockdowns. This is an all-volunteer organization that is helping to end the lockdowns in this province and giving people the courage and the strength to be vocal and visible. And I'm pleased to be able to do that with such great people like Maxime Bernier, Derek Sloan, Mayor Dave Blisma here in Niagara, and the End of Lockdown Caucus. Now I know Pastor Henry said when he was standing on this plywood that I told him not to be standing on, and now I am. And he said he ain't that heavy. But I know he might not be heavy, but he's my brother for freedom, and for faith, and for responsibility. And there's no better brother I could have in the fight for faith, freedom, and responsibility. You know, we see ourselves in this lockdown of lies. And we see our freedom has been infringed upon. Our freedom to speak, our freedom to think, our freedom of mobility, our freedom of worship. Every one of them has been infringed upon. But here we are at Queenston today. And there's a little known fact. 229 years ago, the very first government of Upper Canada had their assembly here in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And the very first piece of legislation that assembly passed was the outline of the trade and sale of slaves, the transportation of slaves. 229 years ago, our very first elected representatives, and one of them was from Lanark and Frontenac, who was there. And they passed a bill that said Canadians are free. All Canadians are free. They did that here. And we fought on this ground before. There's a monument here to Sir Isaac Brock and the battle for freedom in the War of 1812. So we're in good stead. We're on good ground. And no matter how small or no matter how large the enemy is, they will not win. We will win. We will not stop until we win. And I tell you, these lies, there's lots of people who are thinking that with these small little crumbs of reopening that are being dangled in front of us, and many people are a big, great sigh of relief that they think this is over. I'm going to tell you, we're not out of the woods yet. We're nowhere near out of the woods yet. There's a much bigger fight coming, and we better be prepared for the fight ahead. We've seen the lies. They told us that if we were outside with more than 5 people, we would get COVID. Hasn't happened. 2 weeks ago, the CDC put out a report that they overestimated outdoor transmission. And they overestimated it by just a little bit. That there has never, in the entire world, been a documented case of the virus transmitting outdoor from people to people. Not once, anywhere in the entire world. But our government doesn't tell us that. They told us that we could have asymptomatic spread. I remember when I was a kid, we had a different word for asymptomatic. Healthy. Healthy. You can make up the big words, but we're healthy. And healthy people aren't sick. And healthy people don't make other people sick. But they won't tell us the truth. Then these lies of the PCR test. Even our own government officials in a court in Manitoba testified at least 56% of the cases that were positive were bogus. They were false. They were not infectious. They were not sick. And everywhere we go, remember, a year ago we were told we could get it if we touched one another. If we touched an orange or an apple in the aisles, in the bar, in the grocery stores. And we were wiping down everything with alcohol sanitizer. Right? But in May of last year, Dr. Gerald Evans from Queen's University said, no, this is caused when people are in confined places for a long period of time indoors. That was May of last year. And we still don't believe our own medical professionals, but we listen to this foolish Dr. Tam. This foolish who? And all these lies have been debunked. But still, our government won't tell us the truth. They're still hiding the truth. Our media are hiding the truth. Our public health bureaucrats are hiding the truth. They're concealing the truth to keep people in a state of fear, in a state of panic. We're not panicked. We're not fearful. And they've got another thing coming. If they think they're going to be able to keep us in a state of fear and panic. But we know if we're going to win, it's going to take not just 1 or 2 or 3 or a dozen people to speak up. It's going to take a lot more. And the win, to be able to defeat lies and to restore our freedom, is to be vocal. It is to be visible. It is to be public. It is to be truthful to one another. That's how we'll win. So get a lawn sign, get a t-shirt, be on the talk radio shows, share the messages on social media, share it with your friends and family, and help quell and reduce the fears that the ignorance and the lies have created throughout our country, throughout our province. And I say, we're not out of the woods yet, because our government has not learned how to be truthful. They have not learned how to stop lying to us. And we see this. Just a few weeks ago, on May 31st, Doug Ford, who was dangling the carrot of reopening, in front of us. At the same time he was doing that, he introduced legislation in the House to extend his unilateral, authoritarian powers till December. Shame! It is reprehensible. It's repugnant that this premier, who many of us supported, many of us voted for, has turned against us, has turned against freedom. And I know it is not just some people who Doug Ford says who are essential. We all are essential. All. No exceptions. No exclusions. We are all essential. Our families are essential. Our freedom is essential. And he can go, that Yahoo can go somewhere else. But I want to say that we know, we're seeing the evidence now that is being revealed to us. Many young people who were never a threat from the virus are taking significant illness after the first dose. Significant adverse effects are happening with the injection. And it's getting worse with the second dose. And we're also seeing the evidence that more and more people who have had the 2 shots are also being diagnosed as having COVID and being hospitalized as well. These are just facts. They're facts that public health don't want you to see. They're facts that the media don't want to report on. But they're there. They're there on the CDC site. They're there on the VAERS site. They're in front of us, and we can't allow our governments and public health and media to conceal the truth more. But that's what they've been trying to do. So I'm going to say to you, enjoy these crumbs of freedom as we get them. They'll be short-lived. The evidence before us is clear. As these cases continue to outbreak from vaccinated people, as these fatalities of vaccinated people continue, and as we know, we've heard very clearly that in all likelihood, Justin is looking forward to announcing an election for mid-September. And he knows he wants to get that election in before all the negative information comes out. Don't let him get back. Don't let him get back. He's as dangerous as Doug is. He's as bad as his father was. And he's the worst prime minister that we've ever had, in my humble opinion. You know, they tell us that they want to build back better. That's what they tell us. Well, I have a message. If we want to be better, let's be honest. Let's not lie anymore, Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Ford. If we want to be better, we can only be better with freedom. We can only be better with responsibilities. We can only be better with faith. That's how we will be better. As these guys talk about building back better, what we see is them eroding our faith, eroding our freedoms, taking away and usurping our responsibilities. That's not better. That's control, and it's not better. Listen, we're not out of the woods, but I know 15 months ago when I started fighting against the lockdowns, there wouldn't have been this crowd out to hear me speak. There wouldn't have been Pastor Henry and Maxime and Derek and Dave and the other 60 members of the End Lockdown Caucus. It was a little bit lonelier 15 months ago. We're building. We're growing. We have a nation of freedom, an army of freedom fighters. And we will not lose. We can only win. All we have to do is stand, speak up, be vocal, and join forces, all political parties, all political representatives who demand freedom and oppose lockdowns have to come together, and that's part of your job as well. Encourage all elected members to join the End of Lockdown Caucus. Let us find a political home for freedom in Canada. Thank you very much. And join us at the bridge. There's a big parking lot at the Rainbow Bridge. And let's check as we cross that bridge to see our cousins on the other side. Freedom! Freedom is, Canadians are free, and freedom is our nationality, and we will not ever shy away for our fight for freedom. Thank you very much.
In this movement that, along with my husband, we got involved since April last year, I haven't met more authentic and more truthful politicians and leader than Randy Hillier. Thank you, Randy. And my last words, we are wrapping up, guys. Last words from my husband, Jonathan O'Connell, who along the way, we are both fighting for freedom, and we are representing no more lockdowns.
I'm a terrible fella. There's always one more thing. Always one more thing. Can I ask Maxime Bernier and Pastor Henry to come up on stage with me? Yeah. So, today we're in Queenston. Today we're also thousands of miles away in Calgary. Yes. We have Derek Sloan and Pastor Michael and Pastor Jacob and many others.
Yes.
And Drew Barnes from the End of Lockdown Caucus, fighting for our freedoms in Calgary. On Thursday, July 1st, it is our pleasure.
Yes.
It is everyone's pleasure. Not just the three of us.
Right.
But we are going to be in Ottawa on July 1st for Freedom Day.
Yes.
We are going to have freedom fighters from Quebec come across the Portage Bridge. We're going to have freedom fighters from Ontario cross the Portage Bridge. The End of Lockdown Caucus.
Yes, sir.
Liberty Coalition Canada. No more lockdowns. We will meet our brothers and sisters
Yes.
on the bridge and unite Canada in freedom on July 1st. Join us. Be there with us. Be there with the best brothers one man could have. Brothers in freedom. And then we are going to march to the Supreme Court of Canada. And just up the road from there, don't forget, there is the eternal flame. That eternal flame means that the flame of freedom can never be extinguished as long as Canadians stand up. We will be there together with you all. Join us in Ottawa, July 1st.
Amen. Yes. That's right. That's right.
Okay, this is an announcement for media.
Here we go! Freedom!
Freedom! Freedom!
Join with us!
The warriors! Okay, this is an announcement for all media. We are going to the Rainbow Bridge. We're going to be going onto the bridge for 3 o'clock, so start getting ready. For some of you that want to convoy with us, please come to the bridge. And all the candidates for the PPC party, please come to the bridge. We're going to breach the bridge and reunite families from the Canadian side and the American side. Be there with us.
Hello everybody, I want to thank you all for coming out today. You're all patriots, you're all true freedom fighters. So many times over the last year, I've heard that I don't see any reason to be proud of my country. Well, each and every one of you have a reason to be proud of Canada. You are true patriots. We love you all. At the end of the speeches, have a great day. Thank you very much.